up, you guys? Thanks for tuning to my channel where we focus on finance, real estate, and other life topics. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so that you get updates as I am posting on a weekly basis. Alright, so today I'm going to be discussing the recent press release, the interview given by Fed Chair Jerome Powell. Now, Jerome Powell gave a very dire warning that the United States economy could become stuck in a multi-year recession. Multi-year, guys. If Congress and the White House does not authorize more aid to address the virus pandemic's economic fallout. He warns of a long, painful downturn if the government does not provide more stimulus. Now, Powell's statement is quite different from the economic optimism that President Trump has expressed. President Trump and his administration has suggested a quick economic rebound will occur later this year and pick up even more momentum in 2021. Now, the Fed's chair outlook was far more grim and pessimistic, so much so that after his comments, the Dow Jones Industrial Average went down 517 points, or 2.2%. Now, he states that additional fiscal support could be costly, but worth it. It helps avoid long-term economic damage and leaves us with a stronger recovery. So in other words, guys, we need to do whatever it takes to get this thing behind us. We cannot put a price tag on this recovery. He also stated that the United States is in the midst of the biggest shock our economy has felt in modern times and potentially facing an extended period of weakness. Again, he is letting us know that this is a very unique situation that we find ourselves in right now. And if we don't act, our economy can be in the dumpster for quite some time. He also stated that the record shows that deeper and longer recessions can leave behind lasting damage to the productive capacity of the economy. Avoidable household and business insolvencies can weigh on growth for years to come. Okay, so if we dissect this even further, guys, it's truly clear that the Federal Reserve Board, which is in charge of managing and lending credit policy for the United States, feels that we are in some deep trouble. This latest press release drives home the fact that more needs to be done regardless of cost, and that it should not be politicized. I mean, the main goal of the Federal Reserve is to encourage high employment and economic growth by also keeping inflation under control. Powell said that he is concerned about a domino effect where consumers lose jobs, they cut their spending. That in turn can cause more restaurants, gyms, and other businesses to close. Now, if these businesses close, that hurts even more jobs. Companies that go out of business and stop paying their suppliers can drag down other industries. The unemployment rate surged to nearly 14.7% in April, the highest level since the Great Depression, which is up from 3.5% in February. More than 36 million Americans are now out of work, and a growing number of companies are going bankrupt or closing permanently. Now, if this trend continues, economists warn it will only get worse as the slowdown drags on. Additionally, the economy shrunk by 4.8% in the first 3 months of this year, and the economy is expected to perform even worse in the next 3 months. Now, many people are hoping that Jerome Powell's decision to raise an alarm could put more pressure on Congress and the White House to pass additional stimulus spending. Now, so far, guys, there's been nearly $3 trillion in new spending since March to address the economic fallout from the virus. The aid passed so far included funding assistance to businesses, expanded unemployment benefits, and individual checks to millions of Americans. Lawmakers and the White House are now in a standoff about the next steps, and bipartisan negotiations have not begun. Now, both Democrats and Republicans have expressed agreement that more should be done, but there's little agreement on how to proceed forward. Now, the good news is that House Democrats just proposed and passed a $3 trillion package this week that would provide another round of stimulus checks, protections for renters and homeowners, and extended unemployment benefits. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell immediately declared it dead on arrival. Powell's signal to Congress that more action is warranted could hopefully help to jumpstart talks at a time when some lawmakers have become very fearful to authorize more spending. Even with all the spending to date, Powell said more was needed because the economic impact has been so severe and has hit some households particularly hard. Low-income Americans are the ones facing the brunt of this economic crisis, and they have the least ability to handle it. Almost 40% of U.S. households making less than $40,000 a year lost a job in March. Just think about that for a second. Almost nearly half of the people who are low income making less than $40,000 a year are now unemployed. This virus, this pandemic is once again showing the massive inequality issues that exist within the United States. Now, the Fed has taken drastic steps to aid the economy so far. I mean, they've done a lot. Under Powell's direction, the Fed has slashed interest rates to zero and has pumped more than $2.5 trillion into the markets and our financial system in an effort to make it as easy as possible for companies and households to borrow money cheaply to make it through this time. Now, President Trump has urged the Fed to make interest rates negative, which has never happened. It's never happened in the United States. Now, just so you know, negative interest rates would basically penalize anyone who's saving money and make it almost free to borrow money. Now, despite this request, Powell has consistently stated that the Fed does not want to do that, and it is not anything they are considering at this time. So guys, I think one of the biggest takeaways is that this pandemic is going to have lasting economic consequences even after we reopen our economy, because to be honest, the damage is done, guys. The damage has already been done. And it's going to be a while before things go back to pre-pandemic status. If additional action and spending is not done, the Fed warns of a long and painful downturn. One thing that has been clearly reiterated, that if we don't provide the necessary support as required, the backlash of inaction or not sufficient action would be more costly. So there you go, guys. I hope this update provides more clarity on what's going on with the Federal Reserve Board. So what do you guys about this most recent press release? Is more stimulus needed? What type of proposals would you like to see? Please leave your feedback in the comments section. If you found value in the video, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as I am posting on a weekly basis. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.